are going to get ourselves ready for the rules, okay? And I'm going to teach you guys through the rules, and then I'm going to pull up our very special guest that we have here on the call, my co-host, so you can hear from them as well. Is that okay? Okay, rule number one. Who can tell us rule number one? Go ahead and find the chat box. Let's see who we have on here. We're going to teach those that don't currently know the rules. Who can tell us rule number one? Oh, you guys are quick. My chat box disappeared. Sonia was there first. Come on, Sonia. Sonia gets the point for that one. And you'll very quickly learn that we're quite competitive on here. We like to win. It is fastest finger first. So rule number one, ladies and gentlemen, and if you don't know the rules off head, I want you to write them down as well. Rule number one is gratitude. What does that mean? Getting our minds in the right space. Trading is such an intricate skill set that you could very simply make a mistake. It's the difference between pressing buy and sell. And if you're distracted, if you're thinking about problems, you're thinking about the children, you're thinking about an argument, or your, goals that you haven't achieved, or frustrations, it's so easy to make a mistake. So what we like to do is get our minds right by putting ourselves in a space of gratitude, okay? Gratitude can really just, get your mind right, clear distractions. So if you're not driving at the moment and you're able to, find the chat box and type in the chat what you're currently grateful for right now, okay? If you're unable to type, speak it out of your mouth. Let's just get our minds in a space of gratitude before we enter into these markets. We want to make sure that our minds are right, okay? I'm grateful for life. I am grateful for my 3 beautiful children, my incredible husband who allows me to live out my goals and my dreams. I'm grateful for this, this internet that we have. Internet access is good. I'm grateful for the device that I'm using. I'm also grateful for you all for showing up. I love trading, but I hate trading by myself. So I'm so grateful that you all have shown up. As I'm grateful for financial literacy too. I'm grateful for Envision You, our founders. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to live the life that I've truly desired based on this incredible skill set. I'm also grateful for my grandparents who are still alive, that I get to take wisdom from them. I can see you guys are dropping your gratitude in the chat as well. Okay, that's rule number one. Who can tell me rule number two, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see if we can get there. I think Jenny was there. We got a new number one. Jenny was there, I think. Check the news. Now, why do we check the news? So trading is very simple, guys. And for those of you that are looking at my chart right now, like, oh my God, Nikki, this just looks crazy. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Well, let me tell you a secret. It's really simple when you know how, when you know what you're looking for. Now, trading the foreign exchange market is different from buying stocks and getting involved in stocks and shares, right? So when you have a stock or you have some shares in a company, the only way you make money is if the shares or the stock goes up. In trading, especially, Forex or cryptocurrency, we don't care if the market goes up or down, okay? We make money either way. If it goes up, we make money. If it goes down, we make money. The only thing we have to do as traders is predict the right direction. So we have to say, are we buying when we think the market's going up, or are we selling when we think the market's going down? That is it. We don't care what direction it goes as long as we predict the right direction. Someone type direction in the chat if you are following me with that, okay? So it doesn't matter. We press buy if it's going up, we press sell if it's going down. And if we are correct, we win that trade and we make money. That's as simple as it is. Now, how do we know whether or not the market's going to go up or whether or not the market's going to go down? Well, very simple. We look at the patterns in the marketplace. Now, one thing about trading, okay, now I study gold, but all the currencies are exactly the same. One thing about trading is very simple. There are patterns in the marketplace and, your trades are going to move in zones, okay, zones. Now, the thing about our trades, guys, is if it's done it before, it's going to do it again. So how do we assess this? By looking at the past. What has the market done before? Because whatever it did before, it's going to do it again. Now, I've had the privilege of showing you my pink arrows here. Can you guys see my pink arrows pointing to that black line at the bottom? Now, one of the things I noticed when I was analyzing the market is that it always comes back and touches this black line. Can you see that the market has touched the black line a couple of times here? a couple of times here. Put a yes in the chat if you can see that the marketplace has come back to this black line quite a few times, right? Just let me know that you can see this. Even if you're, never known anything about the charts, you can see that the market seems to just hover around this black line a few times. So last week, we predicted that the market was going to come back to this black line. So we put a trade on for what we call a sell, which means we think the market's going down. And we won that trade based on the prediction that it's always come back to this black line, okay? Now, there's one thing in particular that can stop our trade from doing the usual pattern that it would, and that is the news. Crazy things happening around the world can affect our trades. So what we want to do is we want to check the news to see if there's anything going on around the world that could potentially change the direction of our currency that we are trading. So I like to go to a website, and you can feel free to write this down. It's called forexfactory.com. Now, forexfactory.com is going to give you some information that will give you an indication on whether or not to enter into a certain trade, okay? So the first thing you want on forex.com is you want to make sure that the date is the correct date, forexfactory.com, that's it, the correct date for the day we're looking at. So today's Wednesday, the October the 11th, that's correct. And we also want to look at the time. Now, this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. You want to make sure that the time is correct for your time zone. Now, we are, international on this call. We got people from, America, Africa, Europe, all on this call. So it's very important that your time is correct up here. So if it's incorrect, you just literally click it there and you're able to adjust it, okay, to your time zone. So it's 10:18 in the evening here in the UK. It's then going to give you all the currencies that are affected and the potential impact of that currency. Now you'll see red, orange, yellow, and at times even a gray folder, okay? Now the only one I'm interested in, me personally, is the red folders, okay? What does red mean? Donetta's there already. Red means danger, guys, okay? So just remember that. If you see a red folder, it means that there's danger happening in the marketplace. This means that your trade could go any direction against its usual pattern because there's something happening in that country or with that currency at a certain time. So as we can see here, 1:30 p.m. today, the United States dollar has a red folder, and as well 7 p.m. a red folder. So me personally, I wouldn't have traded the United States dollar from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. okay, because I want to give it an hour before and an hour after to allow that currency to get back into its usual pattern. So it's going to tell us here the gray folders are bank holidays. I don't have a problem trading the gray folders. I don't have a problem trading the yellow or the orange, but I do have a problem trading the red folders. So the red folders we want to avoid, okay? Now, if you wanted to go a little bit deeper into what's going on, if you wanted to really dig deep, you don't have to, but at the bottom of the page, it's going to tell you what that red folder actually means, okay? And a lot of the time, it's when certain members of parliament speak, or anybody who is, CEOs of the Federal Reserves, or anything happening across the world, you may start paying attention to the news. When you hear Powell is speaking, or you hear, Trump may speak, that's going to affect the red folders, okay? So now you're going to pay a little bit more attention to the news because it's going to be able to make you some money, all right? So rule number 2 is check the news. If that makes sense to you guys, put a 2 in the chat so I know that you're following through with these rules. So we want to avoid the red folders during an hour before and an hour after so that news settles around. Amazing. We are fabulous students on here. Rule number 3. Who's going to give me rule number 3? Anita was there. Hey, Anita, risk management. Yo, this is probably your most important rule thus far, because risk management is all about knowing how much money you're putting down per trade. One of the biggest reasons why people fail in trading, ladies and gentlemen, is because of greed. Now, greed, you may think, some of you on here, maybe, you may be good, you may be deacons, pastors. You may say, you're very, very, spiritual. But don't worry, guys, when you get in these markets, something else happens. Okay, so we got to make sure that we avoid greed. Greed is something, I tell you, that I have seen the most patient, the best of the best succumb to greed in these marketplaces. So what I've done is I have created something very simple. Remember, I said I'm a simple girl, simple and safe. Someone type that in the chat. Simple and safe that you can follow. That means even if you lose a trade, it's going to be water off a duck's back. You don't mind losing a few trades because you're keeping yourself safe by following your own risk management rules. Okay, it's very, very important. This one, I'm going to be, really, really strict on this, because this is the difference between you buying your new home and going to get another job, or going down the job center as we have here in the UK, right? This is very, very important. So here's what I say, right? Now, the general rule is you should never risk more than 1 to 3% of your trade account, okay? But I want to keep it even more simpler than that. Now, I want you to think about this. Everyone on this call is a business person. So think about it this way. If you had $200, would it be a safe thing to do to put the whole $200 on one trade? Tell me in the chat box. Is that something that a sensible, smart business person would do? You put your whole $200 on one trade? Definitely not. In fact, I would go as far to say that is suicidal, because if you lose that trade, you now have no money to trade with and you become a serial depositor, meaning you're going to have to put more money in your trade account. And trust me, in my first year of trading, I was a serial depositor. But what we want to do is we want to be serial withdrawers, not depositors, right? So we never want to risk all our account on one trade. That would be crazy, right? Because we know that we're trading, there will be wins and there will be losses. So we don't want to put all our money on one trade. So here's what I say, just so it's so easy for us to work it out, boom, this is what I'm going to say. If you have 100 in your trade account, you want to trade 0.01, which is 10p or 10 cents on a trade, okay? If you have 200 in your account, you're going to want to do 0.02, which is 20p or 20 cents, wherever you are in the world. 0.03 for 300. This is not a trick question, all right? So what if you had 700 in your trade account? How much would you be putting on per trade? Okay, let me see, make sure that you all get this. If you have 700 in your trade account, yes, 70 cents or 70p, 0.07. Excellent. Does everybody understand that, guys? Right? So you don't want to be trading more than that 1% of your account. That's my opinion. You could go up to 3%, but my opinion is 1% is going to keep you nice and safe. And you may think, well, Nikki, how is 1%, how much am I going to make from that? Well, let me show you a trade that we just did yesterday, guys. This was yesterday. And those of you that were on the call, you remember this trade, right? And we were talking about how the trade was coming from the blue line up to the next blue line. And we were predicting it was going to hit our take profit 3, and it hit our take profit 3 today. Okay. So let's just have a look at this trade in particular. So let's say, for example, you had 100 in your account. How much would I be placing on that trade, ladies and gentlemen? Drop it in the chat box for me. How much am I putting on if I have 100 in my trade account? Excellent. 10 cent, 10p. Perfect. Right? So here's what we're saying. We're saying that we're entering the trade on the blue arrow, on the blue line, and we are saying that we predict the market is going to go up, and we're saying it's going to go up to this black line up here, which it did today, right? So let's have a look. We enter in this blue line and we came out of the trade on this black line. So on just a 0.01, okay, 0.01, be careful there, Courtney, that's 0.10, that's a pound, okay, 0.01, we would have made $59 on that one trade, okay? $59 on that one trade. Is that pretty decent, guys? Isn't that pretty decent? Put a yes or no in the chat. For 0.01, to place a trade. I mean, we said this yesterday. Who was on the call yesterday? You remember this trade? Okay, I had some screenshots of some people who put the trade on and they were, very happy that they were able to win this trade. All right. So yesterday we said that the market was going to go up to our take profit free zone. And on 0.01, you're looking at $59. I think that is a fantastic risk to reward right there. And I'm very excited that we can do it and do it really safely. So is there really a point to really risking more than we need? No, we can make good profits being safe, okay? So this is the importance of sticking to real good risk management. All right, put a number 3 in the chat if you're happy with that so far, okay? Risk management, 0.01 per 100. Very, very simple. Okay, I'm going to show you the tool as well that we use that's going to make it even more simpler for you. So you don't even have to worry about these charts. While you're learning how to do the charts, you have a tool that's going to support you and give you all the answers as well. So I'm excited to share that with you. All right, rule number 4. Who can tell me rule number 4? Gary was in there. Hello, Mr. Gary Dixon, right? So rule number 4 is never trade without a stop loss. In other words, don't trade without protection, okay? You need to protect your account. So yesterday, when we were saying the market's going to go up, here's what we're doing. We're going to put a stop loss in place. What is a stop loss? A stop loss says if the market goes the wrong way, the alternative way than what we predict, cut us out at a small loss before it goes too bad. So for example, this black line down here where it says stop loss, we've told our system that in case the market doesn't go up like we predict, cut us out down here on this black line. Can you guys all see the black line that says stop loss? Put a S stop in the chat if you can see that right here. This black line here, we're saying cut us out if the market goes the wrong way. So let's pretend it went the wrong way and it came down instead of going up. We would have cut out at a $7 loss. Okay, you guys hearing that? So we're risking $7 to make 59. That, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing. We risk $7 to make 59. So if the market comes down by $7, we're saying, hey, look, cut me out. Now, if you have 100 in your trade account and the market stops you out at $7, your account is now $93. Is that still enough to carry on trading, ladies and gentlemen? Is that still enough for you to enter another trade for another day? Yes, you still have $93 to play with. Now, if you decided to trade without the stop loss and just delete the stop loss and let the market just keep going down and down and down, you know what happens there? You start sweating, you start praying, you start asking the Holy Spirit to guide your trade back up. You start to manifest trades going up and up and up. And guess what happens? You begin to give yourself heart palpitations. The children don't eat because you can't even concentrate to cook. You now start to sweat. You can't get your job done. You're now thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to have to go down to the bank and get some more money and put some money. And yes, lo and behold, something that happened to the 3 little pigs, your account is blown, okay? And we don't blow accounts over here. The FL2 crew do not blow accounts. Guys, I have blown multiple accounts. I'll tell you this, I'm going to give you some tea. In my first year of trading, there was one day, guys, I had about 15 trades open and I lost 27,000 in one day because I did not have a stop loss on. I was like, it's going to turn around. I start singing to the trades. I was like, you're going to turn around. Come on. I was looking at the red folders like, okay, it's going to come back around. It's going to come back around. And I kept telling myself it's going to come back around. And guess what happened? It never came back around, Gary. It never came back around. And I saw my money dwindle. And I said, I vowed that day, never, ever, ever to trade without a stop loss. Guys, I don't think you understand the power of this stop loss. People think that a stop loss is a bad thing. The stop loss does what it says. It stops your losses. So why would you want to delete the stop loss? I have no idea. And we are all going to vow together to learn from my mistake. My first year of trading, we're going to put our hands up and say we will never trade without a stop loss. The stop loss is there to protect us, guys. It's our protection. It allows us to trade another day, go into another trade. right? Why am I stressing this point? Because it's so tempting to delete the stop loss, to move it and wish and hope. Hoping is not a strategy in this trading world. Okay, manifestation over the trade once you've placed it is not a strategy in this trading world. We must make sure that we trade with a stop loss each and every time. And when I show you our app, you're going to love it because it has an automatic stop loss. So we thought of everything here. Perfect. Rule number 5. Who's going to give me rule number 5? We're moving on very, very swiftly. Excellent. Helia, you were the first one there. Maximum. I told you I had her at 12 to 15 trades open. Don't do me like that. You want maximum 5 trades open at any one time, ladies and gentlemen. The app that I'm going to show you is going to give you some trade ideas. And all you have to do when the trade comes in is swipe. And it's going to execute the trade on your behalf. But here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to have 10, 15, 20 trades open all at the same time. 5 trades maximum open at any one time. And if you're trading gold, if you're trading Bitcoin or any currencies that are, quite volatile, you want 3 trades open at any one time. Trust me, guys, it's better to be safe than sorry. You can still do very, very well in the markets. You don't have to open, more than 5 trades. You can really be profitable without, getting, swipey. We want to make sure that we're sticking to that rule of 3 trades if it's high volatile or 5 trades of any currencies at any one time. Okay, that was rule number 5. If we all agree to that, put your 5s in the chat. I want to make sure I'm not going too fast for us all. We're all understanding this. All right, because this is the mindset behind your trading. Trading is actually 90 to 99% mindset, 1% skill set. Because as long as you can control your mind, you're going to be able to control your money. If you can't control your mind, ladies and gentlemen, you will not be able to control your money. And you can either learn from my mistakes or you can learn from blowing an account for yourself. Which one do you want to learn from? So we got to make sure all together we hold each other accountable, which leads on to rule number 6. Who's going to drop rule number 6 for me? Oh my gosh, I think that was Mr. Gary Dixon, maybe the winner of today. It is celebrate successes and call each other out in love. Now check this out, guys. When I was going through my rough time in trading, and it was, I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have anyone to show me, these rules. I was just pressing buy and sell. In fact, I was probably gambling. But there was times when I wanted to throw my phone out the window. Is there any traders on here that can be real and say there's times where you're like, I'm never getting into the markets again. I'm never trading again. I hate trading. Like it got to the point where my mind had just gone. But it was one small thing that kept me going, and that was seeing other people winning inside the chat. Other people that had joined a little bit before me, and they were like, look, I've just made this amount. Look, I've just made that amount. Look, I've just made this amount. And they were showing these trades. So the rule is celebrate successes and also call each other out in love. That is rule number 5, okay? Celebrate successes and call each other. Rule number 6, call each other out in love. Very, very important we do that because you don't know who you're encouraging by putting your screenshot in. How many of you have actually, let's see from yesterday, how many of you have opened your demo account, right? How many of you just put a 7 in the chat if you've opened a demo account, you've opened your live account, you're ready to start trading, okay? Because if you were here yesterday, you should have done that by now. Very, very simple, okay? I can see some 7s. How many of you are going to say, I'm going to do it today? Put an 8 in the chat. Very, very simple. You can go to icmarkets.com. You can go to pepperstone.com. There's also, multiple different brokers you can go to. All right. But get your broker's account open today, because when we start to trade next week, okay, I'm giving you the foundation this week. But next week, I'm expecting us to be placing trades, guys. This ain't boot camp for nothing. This is not a joke. This is serious. We want testimonies. I'm doing this for testimonies. I want people to say, Nikki, we've come on these calls and this has changed my life. We're not here for hype. I'm not here for you to type 777 in the chat, go off and go posting things on your social media and your bank account's still empty. I want you guys to open your demo and your live accounts tonight. Okay, make it your point of duty, guys. If you don't know how to do it, speak to anybody who put you on the call and they're going to be able to help you. But I'm not here for banks. Okay, I'm not here for jokes. I'm here to see transformation in your account. Do we need a broker for a demo account? So when you open the broker account, it's going to ask you, do you want a demo or a live? Just pick one of each. So you can have your demo and you can be placing trades on your demo until you feel comfortable to put money in your live account. But I want every single one of us in the FL2 crew by next week placing trades. Do we have a deal, guys? I don't want you coming on here just to, tell me the rules and you're not actually being a product of the product. I want you to be doing this stuff and I want to hear testimonies. In fact, after next week, we're going to have testimonies. I'm going to get you guys to come up and share your testimonies of what you've been able to do in the first 2 weeks of boot camp. Do I have you guys on my side with this, right? This is value over hype. I'm not here to hype you. I'm here to tell you that this stuff works, all right? It works for those that work it, and we're not just here to talk about the rules and not implement this stuff. So I want you to get your broker account. If you get stuck or you don't know, Saturday we have an enrollment session, all right? And also as well, we have, you can reach out to anybody who put you on this call and they can give you directions. But I want everyone to open their broker account. What is a broker account? It's where you fund your money or you start to practice your trades before you start going live, okay? I hope that makes sense. So excellent. We're going to call each other out in love. That was me calling you out in love, by the way. Can you feel my passion? I love you all, but I want you to win, right? So we're going to call each other out in love as well. Rule number 7. Who's going to tell me rule number 7? Yes, Hilia, have a wealth plan. Now, this is my favorite one, I think, and I keep saying it's my favorite, right? But the wealth plan is very simple. I go to compounddaily.org/calculator, okay? That's what I do my wealth plan for. All right, I'm a month into my wealth plan now, and it's going very well just because of the accountability part, us all working together. Now, let's say, for example, you start on a $500 account, okay? And we're just going to grow that by 5% every day. I know some of you on here are ballers. You like to do 10%, 15, but remember I said I'm going to keep us going nice and safe, all right? Now, in my opinion, guys, I see people can only focus for a 90-day period at a time. So our wealth plan is going to be 90 days at a time, okay? So we have a 90-day game plan, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make withdrawals. How many of you want to withdraw? Like my first withdrawal was only 17 pounds. I think I bought a couple of ice creams for the kids, but there's nothing sweeter than spending your profits as opposed to wages. So years ago, when I used to do this, I never used to withdraw. I used to leave all my money in the account and not withdraw any funds. But now what we do is we leave 90% in and we withdraw 10%, okay? And we've actually created something called WW, Withdrawal Wednesday, okay? That's today, right? That's why you can see the smiles on the face, right? So every Wednesday, withdraw 10%. Every single Wednesday. How many of you wouldn't mind withdrawing every day? Okay, come on, put WW in the chat. And no to weekends, so that we're not trading on the weekends, all right? Because weekends is for building the business, spending time with family, educating yourself with the education videos, all right? And really preparing ourselves to make sure that we are okay, ready to start trading the following week, all right? So let's calculate that just on a $500 account, okay? Real simple. And we're going to grow this 5% a day. So this is simple maths, all right? Using the strategies that we're going to go through. On a $500, the first day you're looking at 25, okay? So you make 25 and then you stop for the day. Out of that 25, you're going to withdraw 250 and leave 2250 in there. The next day, you're going to do 5% of that 522, and that will be 2613. And again, it's added to your balance and you're going to withdraw 5, okay? And it looks small at first. After 7 days, your $500 is now $651, and now you withdrew over, say, 60 over the first 7 days, okay? 680, you're now $20 a day. Now, after 30 days of, just compounding a small 5%, this is just basic maths, you're looking at your 500 is now 1,872, and now you're withdrawing 150 a day. And not bad, right? Not bad at all. And then you've got 60 days in, your balance is now 7,000, and you're now withdrawing around 700 a day. And then 90 days in, 26,000, now 2,863 a day. That's just on a small $500 account, right? Now, for me, this was powerful because this gives me a goal. It allows me to stay focused. It also allows losses as well. So for example, let's say for a day you didn't trade, your mind wasn't right, had an argument with a spouse, and you was like, day 5, I didn't trade. Well, you don't trade today, but the next day you start your day 5. So you can carry this on for yourself. If you didn't have your winning trades that day, well, guess what you can do? You can just carry on and you tick each day. This is why it's important to print your wealth plan off and you tick each day as you go. Now, the great news is, guys, is whilst you're learning through the education, our app is going to give you some trade ideas that you can place when you don't really understand fully how the markets work. So you can earn and learn at the same time. Now, as long as you stick to the risk management rules, guys, it is going to be very, very simple for you to be profitable in this market. So before I show you the tools, I'm going to bring up a few of my sisters on here who are mega excited. I'm sure you've seen them on the flyer. All right, I want to bring them up here so you can hear from them. You can see, exactly who you're going to be working with here when you be a part of FL2 crew. Let me see if I can find Mrs. Angela Cruikshank and my sister, Dr. Chanita. Where are they? Let's see. Raise your Zoom hands if you can, ladies, so I can pull you up. Let's see. Oh, yes, I'll pull up Dr. Chanita, and then I'll get Mrs. Angela Cruikshank to share the tool. Let me see if I can unmute. Ambassador, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, my sister.
All right. Well, great evening, guys. I am super excited, baby. Every time I hear the word stop loss, I get excited, okay? Because I know what a stop loss button is, right? Now, yesterday, I told my story. We're only on day 2 of boot camp, so I get to revamp and get to retell my story again, because I think it's very important for those of you who are just beginning to learn how to trade, to get into this financial world. So the quick background of the story is I'm a Detroit girl, don't know much about money. My children's father played in the NFL. And I just remember us having this financial advisor, and they're like, oh, let us invest your money, allow us to put in the stock market, allow us to help you trade. And I don't know if I'm telling my age, but I just remember when the stock market crashed and I woke up one day and I lost $3.2 million, right? $3.2 million. Can you still hear me? Someone tried to call. And I was like, where'd my money go? And they were like, it's gone. I was like, whoa, wait, what do you mean it's gone? They were like, no, the stock market crashed. I said, so you mean tell me somebody hit a button somewhere? We don't even see the people. We don't know these people. They just hit a button and the money is gone. And I was devastated. And I made a vow that I would never again enter into a world where I couldn't see, touch, or feel the money, right? But I just want to fast forward to where we are right now, because the biggest lesson was in life that you never not enter into something without you learning it for yourself. So I remember, literally joining Envision You, and they said, we're going to have a financial literacy part. And I'm like, okay. And they were like, we're going to trade. And I was like, no, I'm good. If I can't see it, touch it, feel it, I don't want any parts. But I just remember getting on one of Nikki Sutherland's calls. I think it was almost by mistake. And I clicked the link and she began to speak like she was talking to a kindergartner. Raise your hand or put some 777s in the chat if you're a kindergartner when it comes to math, right? And I just remember, oh my gosh, she's speaking to me. I'm scared. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm a mom. I have other things that are going on in my world. But once she partnered the knowledge of this amazing app that she's going to tell you about, and I learned that word stop loss, I was like, oh, I'm ready now, because you can set it and forget it. This is for me, right? And we built a financial plan together. I'm going to end on, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow, how some of you guys don't realize little money equals big money. And so what she just showed you, oh my gosh, you're going to take out $2 a day. Some of y'all are like, I can't do nothing with $2. And then some of you are like, oh my gosh, you know, it only went up to 5. You have to be committed to this over the next 90 days to really learn, to really grow, to really go to your next level. So I am so excited. Thank you so much, Nikki. I am taking my notes. I'm excited about what Angela is getting ready to show us. And yeah, I'm ready for the boot camp to keep going. So I'm going to pass it back to you.
Yes, yes, yes. And can I just say, you are a perfect student. Like, Dr. Trinita came in, did her notes, and you know, she's doing that thing. Like, and she's also, you know, what I love about you as well is you said, listen, I'm not learning this by myself. You brought some moms along with you. I've seen the group chat. You got the moms that are trading as well. And, you know, that's what I love about your heart. And that's why we connect so much. Guys, put some ACs for Ambassador Dr. Trinita Foster there. I'm going to pull out my other sister, Mrs. Angela Cruikshank. She's going to share the tool with you guys. All right, let's see if I can pull her up so you guys can see the tool and how phenomenal the tool works. Angela, can you hear me, sis?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
See if I can. Yes, 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 we can see you. Perfect.
Awesome, awesome. Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, can we drop some 777s in the chat for Nikki Sutherland? Just laid out this information in one of the most simplest forms to really get you to understand that this is really about a skill. You know, and shout out to my sister in success, Dr. Shanita Ambassador Foster. Just really, like she said, being a student of the industry and understand that this is something that can absolutely transform our lives. And, you know, before I jump into this tool, I really want to just set the precedence, as Nikki said, as to why we made a decision that even though we're part of an industry that has so many different products and services and, you know, have already made some good income, we made a decision to put some time aside so that we can actually be a part of this and really expose our friends and family, moms, dads, single parents, married, doesn't matter, to this information. It was in 2016 that I got an opportunity to sit at a table or sit in a room with individuals that, I'll tell you this, did not have the education that I had, did not have the degrees that I had. Many of them did not even, wasn't saved or Christian, didn't know the things that I knew necessarily, wasn't sitting on the boards and, you know, in ministry and all these different things and accolades that we deem to be so important. But yet they were having conversations about, oh yeah, I made $1 million last year, and I made $1 million last month, I made $1 million today. And I'm sitting there wondering, how are these guys doing that? By the way, many of them, as a matter of fact, none of them look like myself or my husband, with the exception of the individual who brought us to the table, which was Mr. David and Monitia. And there were very few women, with the exception of 2 couples that were there. And I remember thinking to myself, what is it that these folks know that I don't know? I'm an educated woman. I went to school. I got the degrees. You know, I'm in ministry. I'm doing all the right things. But yet I'm not understanding how these folks who don't have any of those things are making millions of dollars. And when they shared that they were part of this industry, a $7 trillion a day industry, for me, that was an eye-opener. I'll never forget coming back to South Florida the time I lived there, calling up all my friends and family and, you know, people in ministry and all these people who were business people. And I said, hey, have you guys ever heard about Forex? And I'll tell you this, guys, not one person didn't know what I was talking about. Everyone else was like, no, what's that? They had no idea that this is happening. And the interesting thing about this was not new. This was information that had been going on for years. As a matter of fact, up until about 15 years ago, the only people that could participate in this space were banks, hedge funds, and government institutions. Individuals like you and I, we couldn't even participate in it. So they had no idea it was even existing. And that's a clue that if you don't get yourself in the right room around the right people, you'll miss some of these things that are taking place. Long story short, I remember saying to my husband, this is something that we've got to learn. We've got to put our children in front of, and we cannot just allow it to just pass us by because we don't understand it. Anyway, fast forward now, 2023, we had an opportunity to be part of this industry since 2016. Not only have we learned how to trade in certain areas, my husband was, he was a master. I mean, he was trading, in the nighttime, 2 a.m. in the morning. Me, I was a, you guys know, binary trade, a 1 minute trade. But the key was, it was a skill that I recognized that if I learned this thing, nobody can ever dictate to me what kind of income I want to make. And guys, I'm not the person that wants to sit on the phone and just trade and just, watch the charts. We're busy moms, we're entrepreneurs, we're doing all these other things. We don't want to be that person. So when I recognized that there had to be a better way, an opportunity where I don't have to sit and watch this all day long, but I can still participate in this $7 trillion market, that for me was a game changer. And when I saw that this company made a decision that they were going to launch something that not only put us back in the driver's seat of our financial literacy, because I know what this industry has been able to do. I saw it take my account where I didn't understand what Forex was, to where my husband and I could see where we were making those withdrawals that Nikki was talking about. Even up to about 2 years ago, we were invested very heavily in our crypto hedge fund, because we didn't want to trade, but we wanted to understand, how do we continue to make our money grow? But it was because we got the access to this. And so guys, if you don't understand anything from what Nikki said tonight, please understand this one statement. The only difference between the rich and wealthy and those that are broke or poor, struggling or living paycheck to paycheck, it's not your age, it's not your color, it's not your creed, it's not your education. It is access to information. This platform, FL2, is going to give you access to information that can change your financial blueprint. So what they've done is they package it so incredibly. Guys, we're putting you back in the driver's seat. So what exactly is Forex? Nikki already explained it, guys. We're going to tap into the AI part of it. Smart is going to help you. If you haven't figured it out, everything's already moving towards AI. So if you're not a part of that, you're saying, I don't want to be a part of that, you're already missing it. But the company has put together a platform that's allowing individuals to tap into this largest financial market, known as Forex. And she said it earlier. What is Forex? It is a buying and selling of currencies. Now, a lot of people are trying to find out, well, how do I be a part of that? How can I actually participate in the foreign exchange market, in the crypto market? Just so you know, guys, because crypto is part of the foreign exchange market. This is happening 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The crypto market is moving. Forex market is happening 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I said it earlier, 15 years ago, we couldn't participate in this. As a matter of fact, for us to even be on a call like this with someone of the caliber that's made money in this industry, you would have had to have at least $1 million liquid cash for a hedge fund to even sit down and entertain you. But the rules of money have changed. And what we're doing is we're bringing Wall Street to Main Street. So you don't have to be an expert in this. You can be basic, you can be in the intermediate, or you can be advanced. Nikki's more on the advanced level. She knows what she's talking about. She doesn't need an app to trade. But if you're like someone like me, when I first got started, I was basic. I didn't know what a pip was. I didn't know what a stop loss was. Like Dr. Shanita said, she was like, oh, stop loss, count me in. That was me 6 years ago. I was like, well, how do I not lose money, more than what I'm making? Well, you might be on the basic. We have a course inside of our application, which is an app on your phone. See, a lot of us have these smartphones, but our smartphones are not really smart because all we're doing is we're scrolling through Instagram and Facebook and looking at everybody else's lifestyle. But what if we could put the power back in your hand and you have an app on your phone where when you swipe, you're actually putting yourself in a position to make money. That's what our app does. It's simplifying. And those of you who've traded before, let me tell you why this is so exciting to myself, to Nikki, and so many of us on here who've done this before. In our previous experience, we had to have at least three applications open to make an actual trade. Our company said, no, we don't want to do that. We want to simplify this for those of you who are busy. We have people say, I'm always busy. Well, busy is relevant, right? But can we put you in a position where you put one swipe and you're able to take a trade? Or you're able to go to your phone, and while you're having lunch, you're able to actually get through some of the classes and look at some of these trade alerts that are coming out. That's what our app is allowing you to do, guys. And inside of that app, there's so many parts to this. I mean, we're going to have trade notification. You're going to have a community of individuals that's going to be able to help you. They've simplified this thing it's made it dummy proof, if you ask me. So you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be scared of how can I be a part of this, guys. They're making it simple. This is the age that we're in. Technology is supposed to simplify things for us. And so I'm excited that our application is allowing us to do that. Now, there's some of you who said, listen, I know about the Forex place. I've heard about crypto, but how do I participate in this? Now, we have a crypto algorithm. Now, this is separate from the application. And let me tell you why I believe everybody here needs to be part of our crypto algorithm. And I know you're probably saying, well, I don't really understand crypto. Great, you're basic. But here's what our crypto algorithm is allowing you to do. It's going to allow you to accumulate crypto in the spot market. Now, you're probably trying to understand, well, what does that mean? Let me tell you exactly what that means, guys. See, crypto is not going anywhere. That's the first thing you need to recognize. It is the evolution of money. It is. It's not going anywhere. So whether you understand it or not, you got to know that it's not going to go away, right? It's like it's the evolution. Just like years ago, before any of us were born, when people wanted to buy things, they did what we call the barter system. You had this, I had that, we exchanged it. That's how we got our products or our services. Then we moved from the barter system to coins. Anybody remember coins? Your parents walked around with a pocket full of coins. Then we moved from coins to what? Paper dollars, right? Then we moved from paper dollars to what? Plastic, hence credit cards. How many of us can actually remember when we said, I would never put my credit card on the internet? How many of us remember that? I was one of those. We can't do anything unless we put our credit card on the internet. Well, we've moved from credit cards to digital currency, also known as cryptocurrency. So whether you like it or not, there will be a day when you walk into the supermarket or your gas station, they say, listen, we only accept Bitcoin. And what are you going to do? Now, let me tell you why you want to accumulate this. Because there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin available. This is not like dollars where we can go to the mint and print money. There's only a certain amount available. And once those amounts are distributed, guess what? Those of us who have that holding, we actually get to dominate that market. And I know you're probably saying, well, I don't have the 25,000 or the 30,000 or whatever it is today to buy a Bitcoin. But here's what our crypto algorithm is allowing you to do. It's allowing you to buy it at whatever level you're at. See, you can buy pieces of Bitcoin known as Satoshis. You don't need the whole 25,000 to buy a Bitcoin. You can just buy pieces. If I got $100, $1,000, $2,000, can you buy pieces and start accumulating that? That is what our crypto algorithm is allowing you to do. And the beautiful thing about this is you are always in control of your money. What does that mean? You know, a lot of times people they want to be involved, so they see all these advertisements. Oh, I'm going to promise you 12% and 2%, 3%, but they tell you can't touch your money until 3 months later or 6 months later. Guys, first of all, anytime you see that, that's a scam. Our algorithm is allowing you to always have access to your money. Any investment you're going to do, you've got to always be able to know that you have access to your money. So at any given time, if you want to withdraw all your money, guess what? You have the ability to do that. That's how you know you're part of a legitimate company and a legitimate program. So you're going to link it to your Binance account or your Qcon account, depending on where you are in the world. And so you put the money in, you pay for your licensing, because we are the only company licensed in the United States, not in Dubai or Turkey or St. Vincent, in the United States of America, to actually do that, guys. This is powerful, because these are some of the things that when I was part of, the last opportunity, everything was kind of outside the country. So you didn't know if this thing was going to last, if it wasn't going to last. Once we recognize that we are licensed here, which means if something goes wrong, we know where to go. It's a game changer. But start accumulating it, guys, because this is something that you're going to be doing for generations. This is not a quick, get rich quick thing. This is something that we're building legacy. You want to start setting up your children with crypto accounts. My son is 17 now. He was buying crypto on Cash App with $10 from the age of like 14, 15. So again, we're putting ourselves back in a position that we can create generational wealth and start tapping into what the rich and wealthy has known for years. See, you cannot say after today. You can't. You can't say that you didn't know. See, up until today, if you did not know, then okay, we can accept that. But when you know better, you've got to do better. And so if you want to be a part of this, guys, lock in. There's a $250 investment. This is a $500, platform. But because you're part of our network, again, the network is what's going to allow you to get your net worth. Because you're part of our network, they slashed it where you're going to only pay $250 and you're going to get access to over 300 videos. You're going to get access to over, you know, all of the intricacies of trading on the platform, the classes, all the things that you would have had to pay thousands of dollars to get, you're going to get access to do that. And you pay $150 every single month to get access to it. Guys, think about it this way. Anytime you make an investment, you got to look at the ROI. What's the return on the investment? Guys, the return on the investment is the access to information that the wealthy would have never told you. So when I think of $150 that my husband and I could go and have dinner or lunch even for $150, and now I get access to information that's changing my portfolio, there's no way I'm not going to say no to this opportunity. So get back with that person, let them know, listen, I like what I heard. I want to be a part of this boot camp. See, this is something you're going to every day, as you hear this over and over again. Don't say, oh, I've heard the rules before. Guys, let me tell you, anything you do for 21 days becomes a habit. So when you hear this over and over and over and over again, it took me a while to start to understand this information. It took me a while to even be able to regurgitate the things that I'm talking about and know what I'm talking about when I talk about it. But it was because I was privy to the information. I kept learning the information. I kept coming back for more. And not only do you have that on the app, but now you also have an opportunity to partner with some of us that are doing this and actually learning as we go. So I'm excited for each and every one of you. Nikki, I'm excited. I thank you again for being the visionary of putting this together and saying, you know what? I don't care if that person's on my team, if they're part of me, if they're not part of me. We've got to educate men, women, and everyone to understand that we have a valuable tool at our fingertips, and we're going to go out there and impact 1 billion people. We don't know how it's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen. So I celebrate you. I celebrate all of you that came on this call, and we'll see you on tomorrow's call. Nikki, I'll turn it back over to you. Let's go. Let's get it.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm fired up. I'm signing off again. Send me your link. Guys, who is ready for bootcamp day 3? Listen, I just want to tell you a little secret, guys. They said women couldn't trade. They said minorities couldn't trade. They said we couldn't do this. I just need a few of us to believe. Like, I've got shivers listening to Mrs. Angela Cruikshank. Can we just put some ACs in the chat for her? Didn't she just shut it down right there? We have a goal, guys. We want this call over 1,000. That's the goal. So I need all of us. We have, you know, a saying here, help 3, get free. Who's ready to help 3, get free? I need everyone. 2 homeworks that we have coming back here tomorrow, okay? Coming back here tomorrow. We're back at our normal time tomorrow, okay, which is an hour before. Tomorrow, homework. Every single person gets their broker account done today. And you invite 3 people to this call and you get them here so we can get this call to over 1,000. That's the goal, guys. We want to impact the lives. I want to see testimonies, testimonies, testimonies. Once you've opened your broker account, tag us in, let us know that you've opened your broker account, share it with whoever put you on the call, and let's bring FL2 crew movement worldwide and beyond. So tomorrow, guys, we're going to do this call again. All right, get back to whoever put you on this call. Get them to send you the unique link so that you're able to register with us. And also as well, those of you that want to learn with your friends, or maybe you have some people that you want to learn with, the company also give you a referral fee of $35, okay? And again, you can take that as cash, or that could be more trade-in money, okay? We're going to put you on game to every stream of income that can potentially help you to multiply your money. I'm super fired up. You know, shout out to Ambassador Dr. Chinita Foster, and again, Mrs. Angela Cruikshank, you know, for really just pouring into you all. We are so excited about this, and I know for a fact that the testimonies are coming. We already had testimonies yesterday. So get back to whoever put you on this call. Tell them you want the unique link. Get your broker account open, and I will see you on the call tomorrow. Same link, an hour earlier. All right. Good night. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for your time. FL2 crew, find the chat box, type it in. If you're a part of the FL2 crew, just type FL2 crew in the chat